It's Kringle time. Sit back, relax. It's time to dive into a world of laughter and learning with the Kringle brothers, reminding us that we are better together.
Hey, welcome, Michael. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, everybody, welcome to Kringle time. You know, a time of encouragement, hopefully a little bit of laughter and a lot of fellowship. Tonight, we want to take a look at props.
Oh, props are important.
Oh, I love props and give you our definition. But, you know, before we dive into the props, if you haven't heard, and I'm sure there are a lot of you have heard, we lost a brother in red this week, yesterday, Santa Leon McBride.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Now, one of the things, Michael, that you always said about, you always encouraged us to go to their workshops. And why I want you to share that with everybody, so that way.
First of all, the last thing that Leon said to me when I saw him last was basically he saw a picture of my lovely wife Stacy, and the first words out of his mouth was like, "Is this your wife?" I said, "Yes, Leon, that is." He goes, "What'd you do? Club her and drug her?" Well, you had to know Leon to be able to understand that. But one of the things, I think one of the most profound things he said to me was, being a Santa or being a performer, you always have to keep learning. Learning is to grow. And once you stop learning, you then begin to diminish. And you know what? That stayed with me. And when we went through Brothers Claws together, well, what was that, 2019?
Oh, I think so.
Early 2020, maybe.
Really? Has it been 19?
I think it has been. And, Leon was such a tremendous influence on me. And as we talked about last week with people on my hero board, Leon McBride, Buttons the Clown, Santa Noel is definitely one of the heroes that I really looked up to. But I will tell you this, Michael, looking at the chat really quickly. Oh my goodness. Somebody had a birthday. Somebody had a birthday. You're getting all these wonderful birthday messages.
Oh, thank you, everybody. I didn't even look at the chat. I guess I was just so focused about talking about Leon.
Santa Bob Brodisky. Oh my goodness. AJ says happy birthday. Marty Savage. Oh my goodness.
Look at that. Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, another year older. I'm not sure about the wiser part, but
you said today. Oh, didn't you want to say something about character development from last week?
Well, I did. We can. How do I dive into this? I wanted to touch about. There's so much in the heart about character development, and as I pondered the week over the things that you shared, since you took the lead on that show. About character developing, and one of the things I kind of wanted to bring up, and Leon's passing is making me even think about it even more, So I'm going to put up a small container here, and let me ask you a couple questions. I love to ask questions. I think that we can learn just probably better through good questions than we can good answers.
Well, he told me there was a quiz today, so we'll see. We'll do our best.
All right. So here's the question. I put up a small container. Can that which is little contain that which is big? Can it contain it?
What little can? No, they're two different sizes.
Yeah, that's right. It's two different sizes. So let me ask it a little bit different way to help you think, because when I think about Santa and how big the character of Santa is, it's infinite. It's just huge. It grows and it grows and it grows, right? So that which is finite, can it encompass that which is infinite?
Those are some big words. Can you explain that down for me?
In other words, we're finite. Who we are, and unfortunately, we learned that through Leon, and maybe that's probably why I was thinking about it. We have so many days. We don't know what those days are, but it's a finite thing. But then there's this infinite component that lives on and on and on. And so, in other words, that which is finite, can it encompass that which is infinite? And it's back to the same kind of question. So I'll just go ahead and throw it out to you. I don't want your head to start smoking. Kind of thing,
Too late for that.
Uh, it can. The infinite, the finite can contain the infinite if this, right? So I think of wind and air. It has to be an open vessel. And when we're working on developing our characters, when we look at how big Santa is, you can't know everything at once. Don't try to know everything at once. One bite at a time. What do they say? That's the best way to eat an elephant, right? Just one bite at a time.
I prefer mine cooked
with barbecue sauce. Yes, and so we can contain that, but it's just one bite at a time. But I think the key that I want to make sure that we bring up when we talk about character development is heart. And man, I mean, I'm a firm believer that if you portray a Christmas performer, Santa, an elf, or Mrs. Claus, that we have this calling on our lives to be able to promote the joy and the love and the peace of Christmas. And we have to let that change us on the inside so that way we can portray it on the outside. Because I know once I put on that red suit, all of the things that would frustrate me, I need to put aside who Michael Howe is, and embrace the magic of Christmas and embrace the opportunity to share and to be a light and to embrace the infinite.
Well, I totally agree with you. Now that you explained it so well, now I understand. It's almost as if the heart, by having the heart of a performer, the heart of Christmas, in the words of Charles W. Howard, Christmas is the spirit within inside. You have to have that heart to have authenticity when basically you're being your Christmas performer.
Yeah.
To bring it truthfully to life, heart equals authenticity.
Yeah. I love Charlie's comment. I'm looking at the chat real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Are you talking about the TARDIS?
Yes. But he also says that you're looking a day older too, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you, Charlie.
But you know what, Michael? Today we're here to talk about it's time to prop you up. We're going to get that one day.
We're not to sing, but hey, hi to all. There's so many people on. Let's see. Charlie's on real quick.
Oh, yeah. I've been starting some.
Jenny's here.
Oh, and Trish Viniznuski says happy birthday along with Jeff Wentz. Bill Gorbit says, hello, Santas. Happy birthday. And then Steph Boy says, hi, guys. And Sebastian says, hi, brothers.
From Alabama. Yeah.
Everett says, happy Age of Advancement Day, Michael. Everett is so polite not to say, you're getting older, brother.
Well, when I get in trouble if I say old fart? Yeah, old fart. Yes.
I won't say it. And then Sal, of course, says, continued birthday wishes to Santa Michael and a grand hello to Lord Herbert of Scotland. That'll be a story for another time. Thank you, Sal.
All right, well, let's move on to props.
All right, what's your definition of a prop?
I love props, and so let me tell you what I wrote down as a plumb line. This is things that I've written down in each of these categories is basically, for me, it's a plumb line. So when I look at it, I can go, and am I working on that? Am I getting there? Right. So props. It's a visual aspect of a Christmas performer's presentation. Is critical for creating an immersive experience. They invest time and effort into selecting or creating appropriate costumes and props that accurately reflect their character for the holiday theme. From Santa's iconic red suit and hat to the intricate details of Mrs. Claus and elves costumes, every element contributes to an overall ambiance of magic of the performance.
Way over my head.
Well, let me just say that. In other words, um, props are an add-on. In other words, I'm a firm believer that your storytelling, your ability, you should be able to convey everything that you want to say to the children. So if you're talking about, let's say reindeer and flying and cookies and Mrs. Elf's, whatever story you're telling, you are the main prop. Everything is centered around you as Santa for that performance. Props enhance it. In other words, it creates those magical moments, but your words and your actions, verbal and nonverbal, they should convey to such a place where you really don't need the prop, but bringing the prop in adds an element of a little bit more magic and helps the hearer give them the visual aid to be able to go where you're going with it and create a little bit more. But I think you need to stand on your own without the prop. And so, in other words, I think sometimes what happens is you get a prop and you think just having this prop or doing the performance of the prop, that's the key. No, 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 no. You're the key. The prop helps you. You don't help the prop.
So what you're saying is basically in the age-old question, what comes first, the prop or the story?
Santa comes first.
Okay, so you're saying the Santa story that's being told is what's more important. The prop helps cater to the other senses instead of just using your ears to hear the story. The prop allows you to use the sense of sight, the sense of sound, and if you're talking about the reindeer passing wind, you have the fart gun, so now you actually get the sense of smell.
You're bringing up, we're going right into this right off the bat, right?
Did you bring the roux? Oh my goodness. Yes. Explain to everybody what the roux is.
Well, I should do this. Before I do this, let you know I am in a different place. I'm at my daughter's in Kentucky tonight. And so I'm broadcasting, I'm streaming from my daughter. So all of the things that I set up to show you with props, I had to bring with me. I came for Father's Day and my birthday to celebrate with my daughter, and oh my, do I have some Kentucky stories? But all right, forget that. So one of the props that had an idea, and Mike helped me develop a little bit back to our teamwork and sharing with it. I said, what happens, right, to when the reindeer? I always tell children, now do me a favor, don't leave any chocolate for the reindeer. I know you love to leave them chocolate chip cookies, and Santa loves a good chocolate chip cookie, but the reindeer, you know what happened when reindeer eat chocolate? Oh, it's not a pretty sight at all. Well, they toot. Yes, they
what?
Do. And that usually brings a good laugh with the children. Yeah, they toot. Oh my, the odor. It can make Santa's eyebrows all squinchy, right? And so I tell that story and I said, but I asked my elves, do me a favor. Can you, with all your technology and with all your wisdom and your understanding, and all the wonderful things that you've helped Santa, to be able to deliver gifts to children all over the world, could you make me something? And they did. They came up with the roux. The roux stands for the reindeer odor obliviator.
Yes. Those are big words. That's why we call it the roux.
Well, it's a wonderful technology, and it works extremely well, very efficient. So when the children leave a cookie for the reindeer, with chocolate in it, what? I always make sure that I put on my roux. So it's just a fun little prop, right? Santa Joe helped me. He did the laser cutting for it. Just a small, big paper clip, right? Fun little prop, So that's a hoot. If you're interested in the roux, let me know. I can connect you with Santa Joe, and you can get a roux too.
Everybody needs a roux in their bag.
Yes. And then let's see. Do we want to dive? You know what? Before we dive into more props, last week we asked Santas if they would send us a dad joke.
Well, we didn't. Not just Santas now.
Well,
any Christmas performer.
I get in the habit. We asked Christmas performers. Thank you for correcting me. We asked Christmas performers in general, if you would send and record yourself, telling a dad joke and send it to us. Now, remember not to put it horizontal, or I mean, not vertical. We want your camera needs to be this way. This is not TikTok, right? And so I think when I say TikTok, I want to go Tic Tac. You know what I mean? And have all right.
Again, we have to get you more Tic Tacs.
All right, no, you don't have to do that. So do me a favor. Would you please record some dad jokes and send us in? We got a couple more. Got some from Santa Tom and from Charlie Johnson, Santa Charlie. But here's your dad joke for the night.
So everybody knows Frosty the Snowman, right? But have you ever heard about his mother and father? You haven't? Well, they hang out at the North Pole with us. Sure. Mom and Pop Sickle.
Now I want a popsicle.
Thank you, Rex, for the dad joke for the week. I appreciate that. That's fun. Oh, please record some dad jokes and send us in. Remember to keep jolly.
Definitely. Well, you know what, Michael? This is a good time to talk about one of your favorite props. And you know what makes it really nice?
What?
It's number one is you created it on a very low budget.
Oh yeah. Tonight's stuff I want to show you is just simple props, low budget. Picked up some color crayons. I picked these up at Love Ink. It's like a Goodwill, 49 cents. Right. And so the way I use the crayon is this. I simply ask the children, and I'll show you my magic coloring book in a sense afterwards, but I asked the kids if they'd like to color. Who likes to color? And I love to color. And I said, well, I tell you what, let me put some magic color on your fingers, and then we'll do it. So I have the kids hold their hands out and I get ready. Now, as soon as I put the magic coloring, the colors on your fingers, you've got to rub it in because otherwise it's slippery and it falls off. So then I hold up my crayons and I just go 1, 2, 3, there. And then and it's gone and it's on their fingers. And I say, quick, rub your fingers. And so to create this prop, all it is crayons. I took an X-Acto knife and just cut out so you could see it because otherwise they don't have this opening anymore on the new crayon boxes.
They try to keep the color secret.
Yeah, I buy the large crayons because it's a little bit bigger, and I like the single layer. And so I've made a couple of these. But then all I did was cut the bottom of the crayons off and I hot glued them and then taped it together. So that way I'm pinching these. And then when I cut my hand over it, I release the pressure and the crayons just fall down. And
so to better explain, to help me understand, basically you took the crayons out of the box and you cut them all in half.
Cut them in half.
And then what you did is you laid them out flat, hot glued them so they're all in a line, they're all even, and then you put extra tape around them just to keep them held in place.
Yep, just to help keep it in place. So that way I'm pinching it from falling. I release the tension away and they fall down. So then I just take my hand and say, let me put it on your fingers, whoof, like that. And so and I find that the down movement with my hand, like this, like I'm putting it on the fingers, it works a little bit better because the crayons are going with my movement. So if I come up with this and if I'm not covering it really well, then you can see the change in the different movement. But by moving the same direction as my crayons, it creates a better illusion that they disappear.
Okay. Now, with the crayons, though, now that the children all have colors in their hands and then their fingers, what do they get to color? So
50-cent prop. It cost me 50 cents. And then I love this book. And then I love talking about character and value at the same time. So then once I do that, I show them that all the pages are blank, and you've probably seen that, right? And then I put the coloring on their fingers, and then I say, all right, Ouija. I don't know.
Oh, yes.
How does
Randall would be so proud of you. Ouija, woo.
Woo. I remember his balloon animals are named Pierre, though.
Why are they called Pierre?
The dogs, his balloon dogs are named Pierre because that's exactly what they do. Yes, all right. Another time for that. But so then they put the crayons on it, right? And then I show them that they drew the pictures, and then of course then we take the color crayons and we throw it on, and then the pages are colored. All right. So it's 3 pressure points. It's a simple little magic routine. But then one of the things that I like to do with this is that when I'm all done doing that, it's blank. We go through it. We do the drawing, and then we put the color. And I do that same hand motion as the educator in me said. Remember, and then I do the same hand motion. We colored it. We put color on it, and so I do the same hand motion just as a reinforcement with the kids. But then I go, now, if your mom is like my mom, right? When I'm done playing with something, she always says, Santa, pick up all your things and put them away and clean your area up, right? And so the kids, have you ever heard that with your mom? And the kids all raise their hand. I said, well, and then I say this, the moms love it. I always go, well, that's a sign of a good mom. That means she cares about you and she wants you to learn responsibility to take care of yourself. So you make sure you do that. So let's do that right now. Pick up your hand. We clean the pages. We scrub. And then I show them that all the pages are blank again. And so I get a little bit of that character value in. Now, that's my banter for my story, Reader's Digest version using this book. So can I do that story without the crayons? Yes. So can I do this? Can I do it without? Yes. So this just supports visually what I want to get across to the kids. And I always like to try to add in some type of character or value education thing that your mom cares about you. She wants you to learn this. She wants you to do that. And so it reinforces that. So that's a couple simple little props. Amazon, I think $9.95 and Amazon $9.95.
Charlie put the link in the chat already for it.
Oh, Charlie, you're awesome.
Now, I know I use that same story premise when I actually perform it as well. But what I like to do is I have like the children and even some parents, because I'm always surprised about how many adults want to know how that's done.
Oh, yeah.
But what I have them do is, as I'm standing in front, have the children throw color, their favorite color, at the book. And then I kind of dance around with the book a little bit and make sure that they're hitting the book and not me. Yep. And then that kind of gets a little joke out of him as well. But again, it's probably one of the most easiest things that one can do. And it's also one of the biggest wows as well. But don't you actually have another one that you want to show as well?
Well, I do, but I want to throw up a point real quick, because your banter is different than my banter. When you see props and you see something, you always have to make it your own. You've got to be you in the midst. In other words, you can take what I've done or some of my banter suggestions, and then when you threw that up there, it got my attention a little bit. So, you've got to make it your own, so you're comfortable with it, so you're presenting with it. So,
it goes along. When we tell our stories and when we use props, we all can use the same props, but what changes it up or what makes it unique is how we all interpret the banter that goes along with it. And again, it goes back to what you said earlier with the definition of a prop. It really the story or the concept comes first, and then the actual physical item just highlights or reinforces what you're trying to say.
That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's take a small break before I show my magic coloring page.
Okay, so we're going to show. Okay, so we're going to run.
Some people to thank.
Perfect.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Are you going crazy managing clients, contracts, and invoices? Kringle Tracker is here to help you. Stay organized with ease. Keep your sanity in check with Kringle Tracker's intuitive tools to effectively manage your schedule and clients. Our seamless, customizable contract system allows you to tailor your contracts to you and your clients' needs. Prepare for tax time like a pro by tracking your income and expenses and generate reports to make it a breeze. Transform your Claws business by signing up for a free 20-day trial. Kringle Tracker was created by a Claws for the Claws community so you can focus on making magical memories for your clients. Head over to kringletracker.com and sign up for your free trial today.
Oh, I just love our contributors. They're just wonderful. Before you go into your magic coloring sheet, Michael, let's just look at some more of these actual
All right.
comments here. Stacy Dotson Buer says, yes, a little heart can hold big love. Santa Sal is Santa Claus coming to town. It was one step in front of the other. Let's see what else is here. Jenny Kringle says hi. Nancy Opatich says hello and happy birthday. Santa Kevin says hello from Midland. And Randall says happy birthday to you as well.
Oh, thanks, everybody.
Everett wanted to say, well, truth be told, they have just found some dirt inside an Egyptian tomb recently that was carbon dated to be younger than Michael.
Who said that? Was that Joe Edie?
No, that was Everett.
Oh, Everett.
Yes. So to let you know, you're older than King Tut. And then, of course,
Married with my donkey. He's my favorite honky King Tut. I love Steve Martin.
Steve Martin is funny. And Santa Kevin and Santa De Leon, or I'm sorry, Steve De Leon said a happy birthday to you as well, along with Tammy Weaver. Great topic, and the prop is the crayons are relatively inexpensive. Yeah. So those are just a few things coming across right now. But yes, let's see one of your next props because I think it's a wonderful thing. So are you going to demo it?
Yeah, I learned this prop from Santa Randall. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. In other words, I've got a small version and I'm going to show you how to make this. This is really simple, right? But I can do the same thing. So if I want to use the crayons, I can use the crayons and put them on there and just pull this small prop out for a home visit or, when I sit at the lodge and then I have them do the magic word, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. And I say, keep saying it up and the picture will color. And so then when I rise the picture up, it turns from black and white into color.
Oh, that is so cool.
And then they stop the magic. And then, of course, then the color goes away. Right. And so this is a simple little prop. You know what I mean? That you can have the kids do. And it just colors the pages just like that. Isn't it cool?
That is awesome.
So what it is it's a piece of overhead projector, clear, a white cardboard in the back. And so when I pull it up, they mesh together. So one's colored in the back and then it shines through. So you know what? Let me do it this way. I made a cute little video. Hopefully it's a cute little video. Hopefully you'll like it. But give you an idea of how I did a sheet. All right, here we go. Hey everybody, how are you doing? I want to show you a really fun prop to make today. Yes, it's a magic coloring page. So here's the supplies that I'm using. 3 card stocks, right, to make the frame. You need your coloring page, printed out, of course, black and white. And you need the exact same page printed on an overhead film, a transparency, right? So that way they line up exactly. Perfect. Yes. You need some color crayons or colored pencils. They're a little bit brighter, so I like colored pencils. You need an X-Acto knife. I keep mine in a little case so I don't cut myself with a eraser on top. Yes, cover that back up so I don't slice my finger. You need some scissors, a pencil, a ruler, and I like black duct tape, but you can use any color that you want. There's always freedom. I'm just showing you the base of it. and the Elmer's glue stick. Let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is to take my cardstock, one sheet of it, and I'm going to make a frame out of it. A 1-inch frame all the way around. I'm going to mark it out and cut it out with my X-Acto knife. I forgot to say an eraser too. Let's cut out our frame. Now that I've made my frame, I want to color it. Now that my frame is done, let's color the picture. Next thing I'm going to do is take the picture that I colored, take the transparency, and I'm going to line them up. I want to make sure that they're as close on top of each other as possible. And then I'm going to tape them together. We'll set this aside and we'll move on to the frame. I'm going to take the 3 pieces of paper that I have, 2 card stocks in the back, and I'm going to put the frame on top. Now, what I like to do is take my handy dandy glue stick, and I want to do just about a 1/2 inch, not much. I like doing the glue because it keeps it a little bit sturdier on the bottom. So just a small layer. And then I put that second layer on top. This is the magic part. And we'll put another little bit of layer, just about 1/4 inch. Glue stick. We'll put the frame in, line that up. And glued. So bottom's glued. At the bottom, a middle piece and a top piece. What we're going to do is this color part goes here. The transparency goes on the top piece. So that way when it's down, it's like this. I'm going to take my tape and tape these sides. Just about ready to put it all together. Now, one of the things that I like to do is take my scissors and trim this edge just a touch, so that way it slides in the frame a little bit better. We're talking 1/8 of an inch. Now we're ready to do it. Put out your fingers. Let's color it together. Ouija, Ouija, woogie, woogie, the booty. I'm not sure exactly what Randy said. But once the kids, you put the magic on their fingers and have them keep saying it, the magic words, Merry Christmas, and then you slide it up and it colors. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Yes. Have so much fun with it. A little bit of trimming to make it slide a little bit better, but I think you get the gist of it. So not much money and a magic coloring page. Yeah!
Well, I could tell you this, Michael.
Yeah.
Jenny Kringle says you all are great, and she says that was like watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And Stacy Dotson said, "What a great demo video!"
Oh, wonderful. Mr. That would be fun to do that, wouldn't it?
What, Mr. Rogers?
I love Mr. Rogers.
I do too.
I've learned so much about presenting from him, watching him. And, one of the things that I don't know if I've said it in the past, but, when I have a child, because of my ADHD, sometimes, it's squirrels. We talked about that like on the first show. But Mr. Rogers made the comment that the child that you're talking to is the most important person that you're going to talk to all day long. And so that Mr. Rogers comment, it really stuck to me. And so I have to work on that with, being ADHD, going, that child is the most important person I'm going to talk to today. Focus, Michael, focus, so yeah.
Well, you bring up a good point, because I think as a Christmas performer, this is what we all have to strive to do. Even though if you have a line of 100 children or 100 families, you have to make up your mind that each one of those families is the most important people that you're going to be talking to at this time. So I think that's a good thought to actually have.
So what props do you have? Did you bring a couple props?
Well, one of my favorite props that I love to bring is, and it can work, is basically, it's like,
oh, yes. Oh,
and then of course you can always throw it up in the air and bring it back down, and throw it up in the air and bring it back down. But
eat that again. Eat it one more time. It was just a light snack.
And it also comes out of your nose. But with one of these simple little thumb tips, there's just so much that you can play with, because if you have one that's in your hand, you might be able to use it to calm down an upset child. It's like, look at the light right here. Or if you're doing, say, a virtual call, and I know some of us who do virtual calls with families, I sometimes mess up the child's name because, oh my goodness, can you believe the pronunciations that they have?
Oh,
it's like, thank goodness there's the website that you can look up people's names to figure out how to pronounce it.
Names.org.
Take a note, everybody. Names.org will help you with pronunciation of some of the names that people are naming their children now. But I'm an elf. I'm Santa, and I do make mistakes once in a while. But one of the things that I said when a child corrects me is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. My little fairy Flick, who takes care of the naughty and nice list up at the North Pole, just made a slight mistake. Flick, are you available? Oh, there you are, Precious. Oh, I know you're sorry. I'll tell him you're sorry. You'll fix it." And then just this little simple thing can actually then go ahead and help you maybe get out of a different thing. And it's also fun too, is if you're at an event and you're talking about fairies or fairy dust and you want to go and capture fairies. Oh, you could walk up to a child and say, "Do you know there's a fairy behind your ear? Do you mind if I get it?" Always ask permission. Don't assume anything.
You just don't want to take you any old fairy,
Exactly. So you could reach up behind the ear and go, "Look, there he is. Oh, yes." And there you have another one as well. And then, of course, there's other props that we could go over at another time.
I like what Mike Britt said. Mike said, he says, I sometimes ask them if they have magic Then he takes that D light, what you had right there, and he shows them their magic and uses it. Yeah.
And that is perfect. Even utilizing this little simple thing if you're doing a tree lighting. Imagine reaching up into the air and bringing down a little light and then blowing it towards the tree. And then all of a sudden it lights up. And all it is just the little D light, little thumb that's got the little light inside. Now they're making them with rechargeable batteries, so all you have to do is plug it in, and they also sell multicolored ones as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know Stephen Gillen does multicolored one with his fairy jars.
No, actually, no, Steve does. He actually has a single color for each one.
Oh, he uses the same, because I thought he put
He has
jars.
4 different thumbs, but each thumb only does one.
Oh, okay, not the multiples. Sorry.
The things that Steve did here, because a yellow light is very difficult to come across. What he did is he found a clear light and then got stained glass paint and painted the light himself to produce a better option for it. So if you can find clear light thumb tips, and with just a little bit of stained glass, you can make any color that you want.
Hey,
But
you know what? We should do this when next time we come around props again, as we circle the 4 areas of the heart for a Christmas performer. When we come to props again, we should show them the fairy dust. Get Steve's permission to be able.
Oh yeah, we can do that. And again, Mike Britt is actually stating, Dave Hill sells them that are basically super bright, because they do have ultimate bright lights that do work through your gloves. Deborah Shepard Kaiser saying she got her from Spangle. And I knew Tim Conahan sells them where the trigger, the light is actually in the glove, and basically it's a palm thing. Yeah. So you can actually, it's in the index finger. So you can actually hit the trigger in the palm, and you can do the ET. Ouch. Ouch. Now, another great Santa, who is a wonderful prop maker as well, that would be Santa Blake. He's a woodworker of phenomenal expertise here. He came up with a beautiful story. It's called the Aurora Borealis Stone. And he created this story, and he also created a nice box that goes with it as well. And this is an interesting little story, because what happened is oftentimes the Aurora Borealis, what I use in my world, it also helps bring internet to the North Pole.
That's an awesome thing.
That is an awesome thing, because it's free.
Better than fiber, I would think. Better than fiber, eh?
Yeah, it's definitely better than fiber. Definitely better than cable. My goodness. But at the same time, too, it basically was, as we were searching for the actual power source for the Aurora Borealis, my elves, Huzzle and Wuzzle, actually drove through it. And by driving through it, knocked off pieces into a solid form that fell to the ground. Well, we basically recovered them, and now we can have them. It's like almost like an engine for the different things that Santa can do as well.
Now, the Blake stones are all different shapes.
Yes.
When you get them. Lift yours up again.
Oh, sure. Oh, you want to sell? Because, again, we just discovered this, and this will be great for all those people that travel.
Wait till Blake hears that. Right?
When it looks like this, it looks like the state of Illinois.
Right. Turn it up the upside, Indiana.
When it looks like, okay, now it looks like Indiana.
This looks like upside down all the way around.
This looks like, whoops.
You got to go this way for Indiana.
Right. But this looks like Tennessee.
Right. Now,
this looks like Kentucky.
Look at that. All the stuff you can do. All from that. You know what? Since I'm in Kentucky right now, I was thinking that I needed to go to KFC. You know what I mean? Because I'm having real Kentucky Fried Chicken in Kentucky.
Well, I think if you go to the very first restaurant, they actually have Colonel Sanders out in front that you could get your picture with.
Oh, I'm not sure where that's at. I was just thinking how fun it would be to have KFC in Kentucky.
Oh, it would be fun. But you know what? Since we're talking
no. Blake's story. Back to Blake Stone, the Aurora Borealis. It's a marvelous.
Oh, it is. It's a fun little story. And again, like we were saying, the banter that you create is yours, and that would help you make it unique. All we're doing is actually utilizing. And I think one of the things that Michael and I really strive to master is looking at different objects with Santa eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Michael, why don't you explain what we mean by looking at an object through Santa eyes?
Well, I love going to Goodwill. In fact, I asked my daughter if she'll take me to Goodwill tomorrow because I walk through. In other words, when I see it, everything has the potential of being a prop. Every box, every glass, everything is, when I look at it, I immediately do I see something and I can make that into North Pole. You know what I mean? So Santa eyes going, seeing something, like this, seeing a large paper clip and then realizing I could use that as an odor obliviator, right? And so the name came through conversation with Michael, the two of us, but it's always looking at different things and going, what can I do? And finding who you are into a prop to bring things to life and to magic to help children see those visual aids. How's that? Did I explain that okay?
I think you explained it well. And yes, Ken Kringle, I understand Colonel Sanders passed away. It's only a statue in front. But it'd still be fun if actually, you know what? Some Santa may actually think about reshaping his beard and dressing as Colonel Sanders. Maybe you'll get some free chicken.
Too funny.
Too funny.
Santa eyes are good.
Santa eyes are wonderful.
Well,
Michael, do you think it's time to open up the trivia?
Oh, yeah, let's do the trivia.
All right, I'll bring it up here real quickly here. Where was it?
I found this trivia question, and I fell in love with it. My wife is a French major. She has her degree right now. She has her master's in teaching ESL, English as a second language, and she's studied in Avignon, France. And so when I found this question, I was really excited because it just reminded me of my wonderful, lovely Mrs. Claus.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read the question. Buckwheat cakes and sour cream are considered a Christmas favorite in what part of France?
Now,
again, buckwheat cakes and sour cream are considered a Christmas favorite in what part of France?
Have you ever had buckwheat cake?
You know what? I know buckwheat. He was one of my favorite little rascals, but I never had a buckwheat cake.
So I feel like I should have did the question earlier because now I'm waiting for someone to do the answer. Oh, Joseph. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, but it's a very good guess.
Is a good guess.
Oh, Erwin, while we wait for the answer to come across, Erwin Damers wants to know what is engraved on the back of the roux.
Oh, so on one side I've got the roux, and of course Joe put the little poop emoji on it, right? I thought it was funny, to go with the story. And on the other side, it just says reindeer odor obliviator. And like I said, if you're interested in that, just shoot me an email. In fact, Michael, why don't you show our emails? The emails to send us your dad joke videos. And then if you're interested in I can send a link to Joe and said, Joe, I'll give you Joe's email address.
Well, as I go ahead and punch,
because I didn't get permission from him before tonight, I should have. I didn't think of it.
As I go ahead and punch this up right now, we do have a winner for our
trivia question.
For our trivia question, and the first one that came across was Charlie Johnson, and the answer is Brittany. And thank you to Melissa Lynn. Actually, Melissa, Charlie was in just a few seconds before you, as well as Erwin Damers. Santa Bob, no, but it's not the Riviera, but it's a beautiful place to visit. I spent almost a month there. Everett, yes, Everett, you came in a little bit too late for me, and along with Nathan, just a little bit late, but Charlie is our winner for the week. So Charlie, your name will be put into the drawing to win a scholarship to the North Pole Cornerstone School in San Antonio, Texas, which is in January of 2025.
It'll be awesome. And then did we get the rules on, was it every 30 days or?
I think every 60 days or something like 60 that.
60 days.
We're too new for it. We always make a mistake on it anyway. All I know is we have 3 winners because this is our 3rd show. and I know who they are. So you will all be on our list.
Congratulations. Awesome. Well, there's lots of more props to show you.
45 days. It's 45 days. That's coming from Santa Scott. 45 days.
Awesome. We're not.
Well, Charlie says if he wins it, he's going to have to drive there with us two.
Oh, Charlie's a great driver.
He is a great driver, but we couldn't do half the stuff we do without Charlie.
Oh, we couldn't. So, hey, so we wanted to show you a few props tonight. There's our prop list that we use is huge, but I wanted to show you what I'll classify as low budget radio show, right? Low budget streaming show. Wanted to show you a few things that you can make simple crayons, magic coloring page, or if you want to look it up online instead of magic coloring page, a lot of places call it InstaArt. So if you're interested, there are some magic shops that have them made out of like a wooden frame and stuff, but it's a lot more money than what I showed you. And I wanted tonight to be a low budget radio show kind of thing for you. And this is probably the most expensive prop that I showed you is $10 for that. So,
and Nina Britt said, you know, she has her and Santa Duffy both have that coloring page as well, but theirs do come in a wooden frame.
Awesome.
So that works out well. But we do want to send a thank you out to Santa Randall, because he's the one that actually showed us how to make that wonderful prop. And again, it's so simple. Go back and watch the video. Because again, if you want to learn how to do it, and this is a great opportunity to ask you to basically like the video if you're watching on YouTube and subscribe. This would be a wonderful thing to do if you would want to actually go ahead and subscribe. And let's see, do we have that? There we go. So please follow us and like us on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube.
Yep. But do us a favor. Make sure you click like on it and subscribe. It would be a wonderful thing on YouTube and Facebook. Please.
So let's see, Michael. Oh, we had such a wonderful show today. I mean, the props are amazing. And as we go further with our discussions and stuff, we'll show more and more complex, simplistic, and so many fun props that we can use.
And Scott asked, how was Noah's Ark? On the way down, my wife and I, we've read stuff about the Ark encounter on our way to Kentucky. My daughter lives about 3 hours away from it. So we thought, hey, let's go early and we'll stop at the Ark encounter. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was
so
amazing.
What was your biggest takeaway
on there? Big is the word. I mean, big gig is it's like knowing his sons built all of this from hand. They cut the wood. You know, it's kind of like the little red hen that made the bread, you know, it's like I cut the wheat, I planted it, I did this, I milled it, I did, you know, I mean, they did all of those things. And Noah was really, really smart.
What I thought was really interesting is because you showed me a picture when you were standing next to a placard that showed basically how all the animals would be in the ark separated. And how many did they say? Wasn't it like 6,600 animals or something like that?
I forget exactly. I took the picture because I'm horrible with numbers. That way I could try to remember. I mean, like I said, the biggest thing that I've taken away was just as the management skills to be able to do that, and different things that were on the ark that made it float, and the shape of it with, you know, there's that one back rudder than the front, and then there was another like fin in the back, and it was perfectly shaped so that way when the wind caught it, it turned the ship into the wind, which makes it more stable and isn't going to flip and toss. And I'm thinking, wow, smart. Brother's smart.
Well, there's a Jerry Keel asked, what's a cubic?
A Rubik.
A Rubik? No, a cubic.
A Rubik.
A cubic is, I believe, in the story of Noah. Exactly. But I think, it's basically from your elbow to the tip of the longest finger was a cubic.
Was that a cubic?
I believe it was a cubit. The problem is everybody's arms are different, so you'd always get weird kind of like setups and stuff like that. We also have our Ark. What was it? Our Rubik. Our Rubik cube. A 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 our Our mentor and the head of TNL Productions, Bob McMasters, pointed out that North Pole Cornerstones is on January 31st to February 2nd, 2025. Registration opened up today at northpolecornerstones.regfox.com, North Pole Cornerstones 2025. Again, if you have not heard about this is a wonderful time where it's not only just basically for Santas, but Sat Bob's as well as Santa Nana has joined together to create the North Pole Cornerstones. So it's for all Christmas performers.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, awesome. What does he say? Bruce said a cubic is 16 inches.
Well, okay. Well, that's a good one there too. So I see, you know what's fun? We learned so much from you all from
We're better
watching this
together.
show. Exactly. So let's see what other stuff is on here. Stacy Dodson was like, what a fun topic tonight. Really enjoyed the magical props. Excellent presentation tonight. Nathan Vanderbroek. So you guys are so special. We are all better because of you.
Oh, they're good. So, all right, awesome. Well, you know what? There's lots of other things that the TNL network, right? In other words, broadcasting. I want to say, there were those Scott and Bob. I just appreciate their heart, giving us the opportunity, and then all the other things that there's. So there's something Monday. Right, you got Randall and Bob on Monday. You've got Scott and Spangle and Bob,
Angela and Bob,
and then Wednesday is us, and then Thursday you've got the Magic Group with Mel, and then right after that, you've got Erica, Wingnut.
Yep, Wigging It with Wingnut
with Vintage Mrs. Claus. So lots of opportunities to keep growing and sharing and learning. Remember, just to be an open vessel. And yeah, so thanks everyone. We appreciate it. And
before we leave, before you go into the credits now, next week's show, we're going to go back into doing a little bit more performance, and we're going to talk about how the process we use to come up with our own stories.
Oh, that would be good.
So join us next week, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to create stories, and going from there, I will be actually broadcasting with Michael. Michael will be in Michigan, and I will be in Atlanta. So I'm going to, where was that area at? I thought Peachtree Corners, right around there by the Norcross area, right outside of Atlanta. So if there's any Santas out there that want to actually kind of meet up or anything, I can just reach out to me and I can let you know where we are. And you can always come up and visit. I do love to talk.
Awesome.
So, well, now, Michael, I think it's time to go ahead and once again.
So till we see you again.
Oh,
yes. May your life be filled with encouragement, laughter, and fellowship.
May you find magic. May you find magic in every smile you inspire, and always live with a heart full of wonder.
Oh, blessings, everybody. We appreciate all of you.
And we.
Hey, they're still here. There's some people still here.
Well, if you're still here, hi again.
Oh, hey, guess what? There was a priest a rabbi, a politician, Santa Claus, and two elves walk into a bar.
Really?
What did they talk about?
I don't know. What did they talk about?
Kringle time. They love the Kringle Brothers show.
Oh, that's wonderful. But what else could they talk about? Oh, I know.
I don't know. I was just thankful they didn't mention that Bob and Scott and Tuesday Night Live, that they were talking about us.
Well, they could be, because of the priest. They may be having an exorcist.
Oh, ooh, careful now.
No, I think
it.
I think it was a great show. But again, remember, everybody out there, we're better
Together.
That's right. See you next week.
Bye, everybody. Blessings.
Bye-bye.